All right, everybody. Hey, this is week 3, day 2. Today, the idea and objective is to kind of finish up navigation, and we're looking at instrument approach procedures today. Looking at transition procedures, and as I kind of mentioned yesterday in class, transition procedures are you probably heard me refer to them as SIDs and stars. So a SID stands for a standard instrument departure route, and they call it a SID. You need to know what a SID is, so once again, standard instrument departure route, and that is a SID. So remember that. And then a star is a standard terminal arrival route, and you also obviously need to know what that is, have both of those memorized. So you're going to look at SIDs and stars today. The first thing you're going to want to look at is the PowerPoint about SIDs and stars and go over that, followed by the video on SIDs and stars. There's no reading today, which I'm sure many of you will be happy about. So you'll get to know SIDs and stars, why we use them, why they're required. They're pretty much only at major airports, and that's really just to help the workload of ATC and the pilots. So you'll learn about those, and basically from your standpoint, all you need to know is what is a SID, what is a star, why do we use them, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Then you're going to look at precision approach procedures. We did look at this a little bit last night with ILS approaches and other instrument approaches. Now remember, the big thing about precision approaches is that it gives an airplane both lateral and vertical guidance. So you definitely need to remember that. And then you need to be able to list, 2 or 3 different types of precision approaches. The primary one is the ILS, and you're going to look at that. There's a video today, and there's also PowerPoint as well on those specific things. Then the other is non-precision approaches. That would include approaches that only give you lateral guidance, not vertical. So be able to define what a non-precision approach is, and what kinds there are. Those would include VOR approaches, localizer approaches. There's quite a few different non-precision approaches. But you'll see that once again in videos and in the PowerPoints as well. Then the next thing you're going to move on to is the minimums and the relationship to the weather. So you're going to start looking at specific approach charts now. All of them have weather minimums on there. And we're going to look at what different types of approaches have better weather minimums. So get to know that as well. You'll learn that precision approaches are going to be the ones that are going to be the best as far as bad weather goes. They allow us to land in much lower weather minimums than non-precision approaches do. So you're going to learn a lot about that today as well. Just be able to, with that, just be able to identify which specific types of approaches give you better weather minimums. You're also going to look into the different categories of aircraft on the approach plates. You're going to see the different categories of approaches, such as straight in, circling, and then you're going to also see different types of categories of airplane, which would be A, B, C, and D. The category A, B, C, and D is all based off of how fast an aircraft is going when it's landing. So every airplane falls into a landing category. The CRJ 700 is a category C. The CRJ 200 is a category D. The 900 is a category D, just to kind of give you an example. Obviously the plane we're going to be using is the CRJ 700, and it is a category C. Now small planes are going to be category A, like just little prop planes. The Brasilia, when we had it, was a category B, as in Bravo. So we obviously don't use it anymore, but just to kind of give you an example that from A to D basically is smaller to bigger. Now why does the 700 have a category C and the 200 a category D? It's just simply because the 200 flies faster when it's landing, as does the 900. The E-175 is also a category C. So you're going to learn about that. You're going to learn how to read the approach charts and what the information on it means to us. This little part about special navigation and operations, we're actually going to go over that later in a different section once we get into the operations specifications and things. So don't worry about the special navigation and operations part. And that last part, the FAR part 65.55, that's just discussing how you navigate in instrument conditions. It's talking about IFR flights and specifically a condition called IMC. So IMC is going to be an acronym that you're going to want to know. Write it down. But if you ever hear a reference to IMC conditions, what that means is instrument meteorological conditions. It just means that the weather is poor and you have to use your instruments in order to navigate because you will not be able to have any visual reference. It discusses that quite a bit in the PowerPoint and in there's two different PowerPoints. So watch both of those first and then watch the videos, but we'll have a lot of information on all of that in there. And so yeah, the main takeaways for today once again is know what a SID and STAR is, know why we use them, where they are, the definition obviously of both of them, precision approaches and non-precision approaches, be able to distinguish what the difference is between precision and non-precision and what kind of guidance each one of them gives you, as well as some examples of precision. I can't say the word precision very well today for some reason, but give some example of precision approaches and then also give some examples of non-precision approaches. And then as far as the weather goes, you're going to just want to be able to look at an approach chart and be able to tell me what the different little categories are, the category A, B, C, D of category of landing aircraft category, straight in approaches, and kind of what the numbers in the boxes mean. And you're going to see the boxes. You're going to have really good presentations today in the videos and stuff. So just start to get yourself familiarized with those approach chart plates and these types of procedures. And yeah, if as usual, any questions or problems with any of the files or videos, please let me know as soon as you can. And any thing that doesn't make sense, shoot me any questions, email, text. But other than that, everything should be in there now. So just take a look at all this and let me know if there's any problems. And if not, we will hopefully see everyone tomorrow morning in class.